we have the audacity? From the beginning of time, they nurtured life and protected it from the harshness of the world. Then slowly, one by one, they stepped out of the shadow of man. One by one, they stepped into a world filled with hate for their audacity. They had the audacity to band together and demand that their gender be recognized as equal. They had the audacity to demand respect for their worldview. When by chance or circumstance they found themselves alone with the life that they brought forth, they had the audacity to demand they be recognized as having the right and capability of protecting and providing for that life. They had the audacity to choose to refuse to bring life into their world. They had the audacity to endure when others tried to quiet them and beat them back into submission. They had the audacity to demand the right to own their property and to cast their votes alongside those who believed themselves the entitled superior gender. They had the audacity to continue walking forward when the world was desperately trying to push them back. They had the audacity to enlarge the world for every woman who came after them. They had the audacity to change the world's expectations, allowing us to be so much more than was possible for them. Do we have the audacity to continue what they started? Do we have the audacity to stand in the way of those who are pushing us back into the shadow of man? Do we have the audacity to speak out to those working to quiet us? Do we have the audacity to demand the same rights and respect for every woman and young girl in our country and in our world? Do we have the audacity? That was the beginning of what became my Audacious, women series of paintings. Because I kept thinking there's got to be something more that I can do. I'm not a speaker. If I get in an argument with somebody, my brain freezes up and I can't remember the things that I know at the time that I need them. But I'm an artist. And so I started painting these portraits of women throughout history who have, many of them dedicated their whole lives to women's rights. And I learned so much along the way. I started out with Susan B. Anthony, who we've all heard of. She's got her quarter. We know about her. But do we know about her? That's the question. And then I started discovering more and more women that I had never heard of who had spent their entire lives fighting for the rights of women. These women that fought for our right to vote, that never saw a right to vote themselves. And that's what this series of paintings means to me. Along with the paintings, there are quotes from each of the women to give you a little context for that woman's place in history. Also, if you look at them and you want to know more about them, I have a book that I've put together that has a bio of each woman that you can read about. Or just write down their names and Google them. You'll learn so much. I've learned so much just in painting the series. Then along with that, I also have begun doing a series that, for lack of a better term, I call my uterus series. My thinking was that if we want to legislate the uterus, we should at least be able to look at it. So I have 3 paintings back there that I have made, and there will be more. And I also have glass pieces that I make that's done in a technique called reverse decoupage that also has some of my uterus images on it. And when I started that series, I just felt like it was important to put it out there. Now, while I was working on it, I kept thinking about it, and it struck me that a good saying for that series, a good way to think about it is that nature entrusted the female with the uterus. Nature entrusted the women and the girls with the uterus. Nature believed that we had the ability to make our own decisions about our uterus. So that's a little bit of the background about the series. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. But I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy doing it.